And shifting focus to the Indo-Pacific, where the Philippines is responding to the Chinese aggression in the West Philippine Sea. A day after China proclaimed its control over one of the sandbanks in the West Philippine Sea, Manila sent its Navy, Coastguard and Maritime police officers to the 3 sandbanks in the Flashpoint region. Now, the Filipino forces planted their country's flag on these sandbanks to reinforce Manila's jurisdiction. On the Filipino areas close to the T2 Island, the maritime areas in question are 3 sandbanks. These are accessible from the Philippines' Palawan province. Of these 3 sandbanks, China claimed sovereignty over the Pagasa Key 2 or the Sandy Cay earlier this month, which Manila is reported to have reversed over the weekend. As Manila's forces asserted their control over what they see as sovereign Filipino territory, its forces reported the aggressive presence of Chinese military in the area. The Philippines said its forces observed illegal presence of Chinese Coast Guard as close as just 1,000 yards east of one of the sandbanks. At least 7 Chinese vessels were reported in the area, as the Filipino forces asserted Manila's jurisdiction over these sandbanks. Now, the Philippines pointed to a 2002 agreement in place between Manila and Beijing to maintain the status quo in the West Philippine Sea. The agreement says that no side will occupy the unoccupied features in the area. Manila points out that Beijing remains at the forefront of the irresponsible violation of this pact by repeatedly asserting control over the unoccupied areas in the West Philippine Sea. Now, it is interesting to note that the sandbank claimed by China, Sandy Cay, in the West Philippine Sea, is just 200 square meters in area and even gets submerged during high tide. But at the same time, Sandy Cay is geographically categorized as a rock. Now, this categorization allows the nation controlling it to claim a 12 nautical mile territorial sea around it. Manila maintains by claiming such non-permanent natural features in the West Philippine Sea, Beijing intends to bolster its maritime claims in the area, despite a 2016 international tribunal ruling against it. As Manila asserts its jurisdiction over maritime features in the West Philippine Sea, it faces continued Chinese military presence, despite international rulings and agreements to maintain peace. As President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s government remains firm in defending the Filipino sovereignty, the region continues to be a military flashpoint thanks to Beijing's aggression.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
The Prime Minister Modi.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Bluntly, Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.